I'm getting ready. I'm ready now. Shut up, everybody. Welcome to a special holiday edition of Cageside Live. An hour earlier, just because I said it should be.
That's right.
God damn it. Geno is what we're laughing about is Geno is a grown man. So he's not gonna go see that Star Wars nonsense.
No, this is what he said. We were talking about spoiling Star Wars. And I'm like, I haven't even went and seen Star Wars because I'm an adult. And Sean laughed and I laughed. And they're like, yeah, I'm an adult, all right? I'm going to stay home and run my pro wrestling blog.
That's grown man stuff right there. You little Star Wars babies wouldn't understand it.
Yeah, you little dorks. Anyway, what's up, Sean?
Oh, not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You got it.
Did
right.
I do it right this time?
You got it right this week. I'm real happy. I'm real happy about that.
Thank you. Pretty excited about that.
Yep.
Are we excited about talking about Raw?
No, I think we should just end the show.
I'm excited to end the show.
Let's go out on a high note. We've laughed for 2 minutes. Let's take it on.
Can't wait to end the show. Super looking forward to ending the show. So Raw happened.
And the Slammies. Yeah.
The Slammies.
I was going to cut a promo on all the little dorks who are, they get all, you can't be excited. Imagine actually caring who won the Slammy Awards. It's a silly worked little deal. And they're saying this as pro wrestling fans. And it just makes it really chaps my ass is what it does.
Ooh. Strong word.
Is that a saying? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, I think that is. I haven't heard it in a long time, but
yeah. I had a buddy over last night, and he. This is very not safe. This is not very safe. No, this is very not safe.
I feel betrayed.
This is very not safe for work. He's seeing this new girl, and he's talking about the nasty things they do, and he says, "I'm gonna go home and tongue dart her fart box." And I'd never heard that before, and it's the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. To call it a fart box.
I think I've heard fart box. I don't think I've heard tongue dart though. I definitely haven't heard the combo.
And then he started doing it with his tongue. I was like, dude, please stop. Please stop doing this in my home. Get out of my home right now.
Oh, what's even funnier is I know that you make all guests put a dick on their head as soon as they walk in the door. Exactly. So this man was pantomiming tongue darting a fart box with a dick on his head.
Tongue dart a fart box is the best thing in the world. So yeah, but yep. Anyway.
Yeah. So the people who are above the Slammies are the same ones that are mad at me and Jim Ross for not liking British crowds. So whatever. I don't want to talk. I just got over that. I don't want to piss anybody else off. I'm a people pleaser. I don't like it when the entire internet is mad at me.
Yeah. If you're that person,
I'm still right.
If you're being that person, just understand you're wrong. I mean, you're dumb too. You're wrong. It just doesn't make any sense in the world for you to, pretend like it's stupid for someone to like a worked award, which these aren't even worked, actually.
Yeah, I mean, everybody behind the scenes, everybody's ever been behind the scenes says these are the real deal.
But to be a pro wrestling fan and then shit on something for not being legitimate, it's just the weirdest ass thing to me. Like, it really doesn't make any sense, and I can't wrap my head around that. And so many people were doing it. It's so condescending. Like, imagine caring about this.
Can we have a moratorium on that whole? It's all over Twitter. But anybody, stop saying "imagine a world" or any. And if it starts with "imagine," stop typing. I'm done with that. That's that ironic way to say you don't agree with something. Fuck you. Don't do it. Come up with something new.
Yeah. There's a segment of wrestling Twitter, the name a dirt sheet dorks who are, and they're gonna be all over me now, I'm sure, because I said that. But yeah, well, that's how they operate. Imagine,
according to Big E, we need to come up with our own awards because he's confused he thought everybody on the internet liked New Day. So he wants to know why they didn't win a Slammy because the voting was on the internet. So he is proposing that we have a new awards that would either be called the Dirties or the Sheeties.
Sorry, Biggie.
I want to vote for the Dirties.
Yeah, the Dirties. That's pretty good. And that's the other thing. Everyone's like baffled. They announced the Usos, and I put that on Twitter that they won Tag Team of the Year. And again, all these people who claim they couldn't give a shit about these are like, how?
But they weren't even on the television for 7 months.
Jay was injured for like the whole year. This doesn't make any sense.
You're gonna have to mark it down.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's real simple. They're a babyface team. This if anything showed. This if anything showed that character alignments still do matter because the babyface team won over the heel team. The New Day didn't win. They're fucking heels. They're not supposed to win. Like, that makes sense, actually. As far as, like, that's why this is why they're not legit. It's like, again, your champion is only your champion because a 70-year-old guy was like, yeah, okay, we'll do it. That's it, people. That's all that went into it. Just an old-ass man decided to make that happen. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's more legitimate to me. But, yeah, what a stupid show. It's dumb, and people, yeah, I don't know. If you're gonna like we set boundaries for what's dumb and what isn't dumb. We're walking a fine line here because again, it's pro wrestling, people.
It's a silly enterprise. I love it to death, but it's inherently goofy.
By the way, now I'm thinking about this, so I got to cut off our wrestling talk for a quick Twitter note.
Do it.
Like I said in the pre-show, because we have a 2-minute pre-show.
It's exclusive on the CSL network. You can't get for $9.99.
You can't get it for anything, motherfuckers.
You can pay $999. You can't get it. It's private.
We have reached a point of no return, Sean. On the Twitter machine. I am now under the belief that people think we are actually in a relationship. Here's why. Here's why.
We turned a shoot into a work and work into a shoot.
I hope so. Someone tweeted at me about safe words. That's a. You can see what the Twitter's like. I run a wrestling blog and we're tweeting about safe words. So, and I tweeted that my safe word is keep going, which is a joke that John Cena makes in Sisters and whatever. And it's obviously not his joke, but it's a good joke. It's also true. That is my safe word. And you responded by saying, what did you say?
I said that's why our lovemaking so often ends in tears.
Yes. Which I thought was funny and wonderful. And so I just said, and I wouldn't have it any other way, babe. And this was liked multiple times. And then it was responded to by our friend Drew Nicholas, who said, I love you guys. You guys are great. But he's part of the gimmick. He's in on the work. And then a woman, and I don't remember what her name is, responded to it and said, and with a heart eyes emoji and a hashtag.
I think it was Kimmy K. That's my girl.
Her hashtag is relationship goals.
Well,
Sean,
go ahead, and then I'll give you my take on this.
Point of no return. That's my only that we are in a relationship now. You're locked down now, Sean.
Well, we are in a relationship, and I feel good about the fact that we are inspiring positive relationship dynamics among the Twitterati. Or I don't know.
Are we though? Because the relationship goal is that our lovemaking ends in tears because you always misinterpret my statement.
See, I think the relationship goal is you calling me babe or whatever. What did you say? I wouldn't have it any other way?
Babe. Yeah.
I guess that means that we're both okay with the fact that our lovemaking ends in tears. So, and that's really all you can hope for out of a relationship is that you have open communication and everybody's okay with the outcomes. So I think we're like fucking Dr. Oz over here, whoever, Dr. Phil. If Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil were in a loving relationship, as you and I are, that's what we would be. We'd be better than those guys.
I just like that we run where we get some of the most traffic of any of the wrestling sites out there, and we just are actively pretending to be gay. Someone might get mad about that. We have gay staffers, though. So I feel like as long as they are cool.
I'm a little bit mad that you won't acknowledge our relationship and you keep saying it's a pretend.
Like it's a work and shit.
Yeah, I don't know why you insist on doing that, but okay, I'll go along with it. It's best for business.
I just thought that was the greatest thing.
Did you? I know you don't watch Breaking Ground, and I'm going to stop soon, too, because it's a horrible show. But last night, they sucked me in because it was the totally contrived scene where Triple H pulled Sasha and Bayley aside, and they sat on the bleachers, and he revealed to them that they were going to main event, whatever it was called, not Brooklyn, the other one. Respect. And in his little speech to them, he used the phrase, he was worried that they were leaving Story on the table.
Did he fucking seriously say that?
He didn't say money, so it wasn't totally perfect, but he said, I'm worried we're leaving Story on the table here. That was how he set it up, and I marked it. So
the only thing that almost got me to watch that show, other than the 5 minutes I spent on it at one point a while back, was the commercial. Apparently Baron Corbin's great.
Yes, that's why I keep watching, honestly. They got me last night with Bayley and Sasha, but they need to release like a 10-minute version that's just the Baron Corbin shit, because I kind of imagine that's what you would be like if you were at the Performance Center. He's just grumpy and he just wants to shit on everybody. I mean, not that you're really like that, but you're sort of the angry, the Geno time gimmick, which we've sort of moved away from. But it's Baron time all the time.
You got to develop the character. We have moved away from the Geno time gimmick. It comes back every now and again. But no, I saw the commercial with Scott Hall, and he's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's smarting up to you," and Corbin's smiling, and then Hall's like, "That you're a dick," and then Corbin just gets his look on his face like, "Wow, I kind of want to punch this old bastard in his mouth," and then they cut away, and I'm like, "Okay, now I actually want to tune in." It's a gimmick, I know it is. But
it's really, and it's not even like campy fun the way Total Divas is. It's just it's just painful. It's like earnest camp. I don't know I can't even explain it. It's not good. It's so disappointing. I so thought it was going to be one thing, and it's not that thing at all. So
although maybe if we had Handstock recapping it, he could find a way to get us to a point where it is campy fun.
Well, I was watching it the last couple of times I've watched it. I've been like, well, let me see if I can find the angle, if I can channel my inner Handstock, and I can't. I don't know. Maybe he can do it because that dude he's good at that. So
he's got great drugs.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we have to talk about Raw.
I know we're 15 minutes in here, and I don't think we've talked about Raw at all.
We're pulling a Raw while recapping Raw. Where do we start? Roman Reigns, I guess.
Smiling Roman Reigns.
Talk to me, man. Did you
I liked it. It was okay. I mean, I've come to the conclusion that Roman is never going to be my favorite wrestler, but I'm okay with this version of him. I mean, I think it's a little bit desperate. I mean, I made a joke in the SmackDown preview. That seven people will read that they're trying to make him. He's like a combination of The Rock, Stone Cold, and John Cena all rolled into one dude at this point. He's sort of funny, but he's anti-establishment, and he's going to overcome everything.
I think
it's fine. It's just it's not my. I'm never going to love it, but it's fine. It didn't make me want to turn the channel. I thought he delivered a couple of good lines. I thought it was smart. The turning his back on her to flip the switch on her was good. It was all right.
There are a couple things from this segment. Really, the only noteworthy things from this show. I think part of our problem that we've had all along, and it's at least partially on us, is we've always thought, okay, well, the Reigns character works best if it's this particular character, and we always John Wick. That's what we always he should be that, and everything else sucks. So we just sort of took. I think we let that sort of color how we viewed everything he did. So that if he smiled even once, we'd get all pissed off. Because I watched John Wick again, and I'm not sure he smiles once the whole movie. And so we go, okay, he's smiling, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, this is therefore bad. I think that's a problem on our end, because we're trying to sort of fit, at that point, a square peg in a round hole. It's not what they're offering us. It's what we want to see, but it's not what we're being given. And because we're looking for that particular thing, we're ignoring what's actually in front of us. and we're rejecting it outright because they're just not doing the thing that we think they should be doing. And I think we've done that too much with Roman Reigns. And last night kind of showed me that. And I actually kind of turned the corner when I go, let's just take him for what he is. And what I think he actually is just the most super chill-ass bro who may or may not have smoked 4 or 5 blunts before going out. He's impossibly high, and he's the fucking WWE champ who, when the time comes, will beat the shit out of everyone in sight. There's nothing wrong with that character. His promo with Stephanie was really good. I mean, he talked and he smiled, but it made sense. Stephanie McMahon goes over on everybody. There's nobody who gets to go over on Stephanie. It's so unbelievably rare. They let Daniel Bryan do it. But even then it was like very, I mean, Triple H was the one who had to do the job in the ring, of course, but there weren't a lot of segments where I can remember D-Bry like quite obviously getting over on her like Roman Reigns got over on her last night. Like he no-sold, which is exactly what we said. You have to always no-sell Stephanie. For him to stay over, that's what he has to do. She can beat the shit out of poor Tom Phillips, which that was uncomfortable at a point.
Young boy Tom. Yeah, it was really weird. It was really weird.
I don't think it was because I think it's the point. It's actually
it was. I mean, no, I know it was weird, and I would agree with you. It was weird in a good way. It accomplished the goal of she's sort of creepy and evil and wrong. I mean, it did what art is supposed to do, in that it made me feel uncomfortable, which is always difficult for wrestling to do because it's inherently goofy, like I said earlier.
Right. The anyone but you Roman thing actually kind of fits because it's anyone but Roman doesn't get over. Now Roman is the only one who gets over her. And I assume that's why they did that, because she spent the whole show showing ass, and then they're like, okay, we gotta, she, in her mind, we're gonna close this show. That's how they went off the air, with her beating up poor Tom Phillips. And it's because Roman had just completely ran over her in the opening segment. Like, I don't know, it's been a long time since they've done something like that, where Vince would do that all the time, and it would be okay because he's such a damn good heel. And Stephanie's great too. She played the part well, and I'm sure next week she'll come out, or maybe even tonight on SmackDown. I don't know. They're teasing that she and the League of Nations are pissed. Really? Are they going to be on the show? It didn't say officially. It was just that they rolled out the little 5-point preview deal, and that was one of the bullet points, was that Stephanie and League are mad. League. Stephanie and League. So I agree with you. I mean, I think it's the whole, like, my expectation is one thing and they're not doing it, so I'm pissed. We talked about that last week. I mean, that's fine. Like I said, I'm fine with this Roman. It's like I said, it's never going to be my favorite character, but that doesn't mean it's a bad character because it's totally subjective. My problem with the smiling is actually, at this point, it is not the John Wick problem. It is that I think he looks like a fucking dupe, and he kind of creeps me out when he smiles. So it's still subjective. I just don't think it's the dude's best look. I mean, he does the whole, like, he smiles and he does like the what's the cartoon dog who's like shoulders jiggle when he snickers, and that's not my. I don't know either. What I liked about this, there was one point in the opening promo where I was scared that they were going to fuck it up because I just worry. I just sit here in like a total state of anxiety for 3 hours every Monday night. That's not true, but I thought when she did the whole "you're a coward," I thought he was going to turn around, but I love that he no-sold that. I mean, all of the no-selling up to that was good. But when he totally just, like, she went to her father's, like, number one, like, questioning your manhood trick, and he didn't even buy that, that was like, yep, they're all right. Good way to go, Romy. Thank God he didn't start, like, trying to talk about how she has small tits or some stupid shit like that, yeah. Well, I thought you had melons. Yeah. I thought you had melons, but it turns out you have grapes. I thought you had ovaries. It turns out you just have shriveled little oysters. But I don't know. Sorry. Oysters, Sean. But I thought it was. I don't actually know what an ovary looks like, so I didn't know what to go with there. But no, I thought it was good because, Stephanie's really good at being, like, super pissed off, and, I think a good babyface champ should get to her like that, just piss her off even more and make her even more mad, and the crowd can get behind that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I thought it was,
And another thing, I mean, this is jumping around a little bit. But I saw some complaints on Twitter that that Roman or the Usos or Dean didn't really help the other person in their matches throughout the night. Roman came out at the very end to even the odds in the steel cage match, but people were bitching about, I thought they were family, blah, blah, blah. I also I mean, that to me fits with the badass babyface persona. His boys like to fight, and his boys can handle a fight, so he doesn't need to be out there holding their fucking hands. That's for the heels like League of Nations. They have to go everywhere as a group because they can't go one-on-one with anybody. So I like that too.
And that's, and plus there has to be some level of, you let them, they got to get the heat somehow.
No, they can't. They're not going to.
They tried.
It's just,
that's a credit to WWE on this show that they tried to get the heat for League of Nations. That's what the show was. It was everyone
never gonna have. But how did they tried by having them lose? I mean, why?
No, they had them. They all won matches.
I guess they didn't. Yeah, they did
throughout the night. And then
but it was weird that New Day, their sort of auxiliary force, was the ones that got put against the Usos. I thought that was weird. Your punishment is to face a tag team that you faced 40 times in the last 2 weeks.
But it was a handicap. It was 3-on-2.
Xavier's in everyone. That's not a punishment. Sorry, that was lame.
I mean, I don't disagree. It was a fun match, I guess.
I'm worried they're going to break them up or something. That's another thing I was worried about in my 3 hours of anxiety last night.
I wouldn't even mind.
Man.
I don't care how entertaining you are at some point, that it just gets to be too much of you, or your shit gets kind of stale. And,
do you want to watch like Kofi feud with Xavier though? I don't. I'd rather.
I don't. I don't know. I don't. Yeah. I mean, they're probably better together than apart, and I don't think they're going to break them up because their merchandise moves so well. But
true. What if they have New Day Red and New Day Black, and then there's two, Wolfpack, New Day Wolfpack?
Yeah. That'd be a real
You just no-sold my joke like Roman Reigns.
Well, I don't fuck with my NWO. I grew up
I know. Sting won.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I forgot to congratulate you.
Oh, yeah, Sting finally won something.
Sting finally won something in WWE.
And he couldn't be fucked to show up for it.
Nobody could be fucked. Seth Rollins is the only one who cared to show up.
What a sad state of affairs.
I mean, I was so sad for Minneapolis. Like, the second time that Brock Lesnar's music hit, you could see they all stood up. They were like, finally, somebody's here. And it was Heyman again. And everybody just went, you could like hear the air go out of the place. Not that Heyman sucks, but they were amped to get either Cena or I think Chris Harrington tweeted he was there live, and he was like, there were so many kids that were crushed that Cena wasn't there.
When they realized,
they figured he was going to show up for an award. And
they finally realized. Well, and it makes sense too the way they did the layout, because Superstar of the Year was like mid-show.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, that must mean that they don't have anybody.
Don't they always do that mid-show though? I mean, Roman's thing, that wasn't the main event.
I thought that was
it? I don't remember. I was kind of
Match of the Year was the main thing. I don't know. Maybe that's always. Who gives a shit?
The Slammys are serious business.
It's just.
Imagine caring about the Slammys.
You condescending fucking.
I know. I'm a heel now. I turned heel last week.
So why? What's the excuse for not making it a network special and not bogging down Raw?
I don't know.
I thought Raw had a lot of momentum, and then this show happened.
I saw you. I saw you tweet that or write that. I agree completely. I don't know. There's no. I don't know. I mean, does it do good ratings?
Not really. It didn't last year.
I mean, they put it in this death. They put it in this death slot on the. I mean, Christmas. I mean, luckily they had a shit football game they were up against, but I still think people are already traveling or shopping, or I mean, we're at D-Day for the big holiday, so.
And we're getting ready for the January turnaround anyway. I don't know that it's. They must have some metric that people do care. There's a lot of votes that come in, and our traffic, like we said, people care about it, but that would seem to indicate that you could run it as a special and not bog down.
Well, that's why if ratings were good, maybe USA doesn't want them to run it as a special. It's part of their deal. We get the Slammies, but if ratings aren't good, because I don't think maybe these days the NBC Universal might care about the social media metrics.
They must.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the only business reason I could think of, is that it's in the deal. USA, NBC says, no, that's ours. We want that.
It did lead to a great moment where Kalisto was giving his acceptance speech. Kevin Owens decided he'd just take a nap on the turnbuckle in the ring. So we get stuff like that, but that, no one was getting entrances and everything felt rushed. And
Well, it's just there's no way. I mean, especially after last week, which was, one of among the many things that last week's show did right is it gave us a show that had its own momentum, and you didn't want to turn away. The segments built on each other, and it flowed. And last night didn't flow at all, because as soon as you got any kind of rhythm going, it was, it's time to change the lighting on the stage and trot out somebody you don't give a shit about for an award you don't understand.
Yeah, can Santino Marella just fuck off already?
I'm a Santino Mark, but there's no point. No. That's not, no.
Like, I was one of the people, I wrote a whole article about him being our funny guy and how great it was when he almost won the title from D-Bry at the Chamber.
I still love that match, yep.
But he came out and it was like, all right, cool, whatever. But you knew they'd do some dumb comedy stuff, and they had him try to steal R-Truth's award.
Mm-hmm.
R-Truth, who is just the greatest, who I was ready to riot if he didn't win the award, and then he won, and then fucking Marella tries to run off. It's like, will you just piss off? Like, didn't you retire? Go away. Like, I don't know I don't know if it was that I'm such a big Truth fan all of a sudden because my bad. This one's on me. Like, that is such a good gimmick. I don't even understand why or how. But that is it's like WWE finally got comedy right, and I don't want anyone to fuck with it in any way. And here's Santino, I'm going to steal it. I've never won one. It's like, dude, you're a kid. You're a fucking child.
You know what's a shame is they did the Steve Harvey bit, and he didn't say, my bad, this is on Truth, did he?
Nope, he didn't do the gimmick.
That's a missed opportunity right there.
Well, I appreciate that they actually were timely with a reference for once. Yeah. It kind of fell into their lap that it happened right before the Slammy Awards, so they had to do
Oh,
that.
yeah, but I still think they should have played it up and made it there. I mean, it's just sort of like they did it because they were, I don't know. They could have done it, but I think they could have played it up a little bit better. I would have liked to have seen, because Truth was sort of subdued. He wasn't his full self, so.
That was a whole bizarre sequence, too, because I wish they'd have done it with Sasha, because then I would have drank smart tears for the next week.
But then Nikki would have gotten booed when she was saying her inspirational speech, and we can't have that.
Would she have? I mean, they'd have booed Sasha. Unity has made Sasha just the biggest.
I think you risk it. I think you risk the.
I don't think so.
I think you risk a smart crowd, which this wasn't a tough. I mean, I think Minnesota's it's fairly mainstream, I guess, but
nice.
I don't know. I think with Paige, it doesn't matter. I mean, nobody knows what Paige is at this point. So,
did you have a problem with Nikki's speech?
I have a problem with the whole Nikki. I don't know. I mean, I would like Nikki Bella to be. If I had the book, Nikki Bella would be a badass heel. If she's not going to be a badass heel, make her John Cena light, and she John Cena. But don't. I get annoyed. I am old. Whatever. I'm Jim Cornette. I'm Jim Ross. I get annoyed when they're especially on television, when you're a heel 1 minute and you're a face the next. She's been gone for a while. If this is a face turn, that's great. I'm all for it. She should be. We need. I'd like to see her feud with Charlotte as the heel and her as the face now. Actually, I wouldn't like that because I don't like to watch Charlotte wrestle. But anyway, you get my drift. It's not that I have a problem with the speech. It's that I have a problem with the ongoing presentation of especially women characters on the show, as they're always crazy, jealous chicks, except when they're at a Be a Star rally or whatever. So that's my problem with that.
I guess if there's a time to break kayfabe, you do it at an award show. And she totally did. Paige is staying in character, and Nikki's like, "No, stay. We're gonna tell them about this." And Paige quickly dropped the act and was like, oh, okay, then this is a feel good, like you said, inspirational, motivational, whatever the fuck you want to call it thing. I'm so proud of all the women and whatever. It was cool for what it was, I guess, in a way, because if they, again, I always try to think, don't be unfair, just for the sake of being unfair. If they did it in NXT, would you be mad? I try to use that on myself even. Like, if this was an NXT thing, would I be pissed off? And we'd probably find a way to justify it or make it good in some way. I guess NXT all the time. They break kayfabe constantly. We're always like, great, wonderful, cool moment. And so it's like, well, I don't know that it's inherently bad just because she broke kayfabe, because it is an award, and you'd think that the one time to do that would be for this, but the award is kayfabe. It's
like I said, I mean,
how they operate.
It didn't make me mad or anything. It reminds me of something that does make me mad. And I do feel like I know the Becky Charlotte feud isn't everybody's cup of tea, but they are consistently playing the same characters in it. So I'm cautiously optimistic about how they're doing some things in the Divas division right now. And hopefully the Nikki thing is that, like I said, this is just, I'm not mad at this because I don't know what her character is right now. Right? I mean, she's been gone. She'll come back. She's probably going to get a face pop when she comes back. So they should, I mean, if it were given this, because that was kind of weird about Rollins' acceptance speech, is that he got a face pop and then he went heel, and she didn't.
Well,
so that's fine. I mean, if this is a character change for her, then I don't have any problem with that. It reminded me of the 6 months where Nikki Bella changed alignments more often than Big Show, and that's what. So this in itself didn't make me mad. It just reminded me of something that makes me mad.
Well, she was the only, if I'm remembering right, she was the only one who didn't keep kayfabe. She just did a shoot speech where it was like a legitimate award, and she was at an actual award show, and that's
right.
Even Rollins, who returned, and they treated him like just the babyface returning hero, conquering. And he had that slight moment where he was like, I almost want to say thanks. But
and then he did that laugh that everybody hates.
That cackle, sniveling little shit, and he went right back to it. And so it's like, because there had been that, we had seen that guy who, if there's ever a time to want to get soaked up in the adoration of everyone in the crowd, it's that time. And to just run with it and go, well, I broke kayfabe, I wanted to have a moment, you could do it. And he didn't. And I think it's entirely possible the problem with Nikki is she absolutely falls into that every time there's a chance to, like you said. Mm-hmm. There's a chance to be beloved for having a good message. She's dating the ultimate dude who does that fucking constantly. His whole Twitter is just inspiration, and it's to the point that he's Russell Wilson, and it's like, shoot that fucker into the sun at this point. Like, I mean, cool, like, you do good things, and we appreciate it. That's nice. You're a good guy, but at some point you're like, we fucking get it, dude. We get it, okay? You're a good man. You never do anything wrong. I also always think of Howard Stern, though, and how he thought, he should get, like, cool points for fucking fat women. Like, right. There's parts of John Cena that are not public, or that were public at one point when he played the certain character on TV, that he was just far more open to being open about who he actually is as a fucking human being, which he's not a fucking saint. He's
right.
actually
he's a human being. Human. Exactly. He's not
a real human.
Right. Yeah.
So, and so I guess it makes sense in some ways, and it makes sense in some ways as far as just being a human, that you'd want to get sucked into that and be like, yeah, I did work really fucking hard this year. I deserve to soak in this adoration. But I think that's part of the problem with wrestling in 2015 is no one wants to really be hated. No one wants, and there's a ton of fucking dorks online who are going to tell you it's the wrong kind of heat when you get heat. That's what Rollins ran into all year, to the point that he was defending the kind of heel that he was, because people don't understand heat in 2015 is what he said. And he's not wrong necessarily, because we run into it on the fucking site. People I respect, people whose opinions I respect, are telling me, oh, the Eva stuff, oh, it's the wrong kind of heat. It's like, fuck you. They got a great match out of it. At some point, heat's heat. Like, if the idea is to make you genuinely want to jump the rail, that's why I thought Big E should have spoiled Star Wars, because fucking that heat would have been massive. Some fucking nerd probably would have tried to fight him. Like, he probably would have been like walking out from the whatever to go to his car, and some nerd probably would have tried to rush him. Like, that's how massive Star Wars is as a thing. That's how fucking much people care, and that's heat, dude. And these same people oftentimes go, in the old days, they'd want to fucking stab these guys. They'd do riots. Would you say that's the wrong kind of heat? No, you wouldn't. You just is great heat, but you do anything to get it. Literally anything to get it. And they won't. They don't do it now. There's some fine line now, I guess, that every person gets to decide what's the right and wrong kind of heat. No, man, heat's heat. Make them fucking hate you. I want your opinion on this, and this is a bad segue, but we're doing it. I really think they should have spoiled Star Wars, dude. I think he should have said it. I haven't watched it. I don't give a shit. The Star Wars movies suck. All of them. My opinion. That's my opinion. They're dumb. I don't get it. Whatever, but I understand that a bunch of people do. A bunch of people love it and think it's great. So therefore, And would they have gotten some mainstream attention?
Mm-hmm.
They would have got some attention.
I mean, I have not seen it yet. I'm going to try to go see it tomorrow. I do. I mean, we're not going to talk about fucking Star Wars and my thoughts on it because I could talk about it for a long time.
Are you a big Star Wars fan?
I am a giant nerd. I used to be a really big Star Wars fan. It has.
You're probably really sad that Chewbacca dies.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I hate you so much right now. I made a joke on Twitter this morning. I haven't seen it. I'm interested to see it now to test my theory because I'm pretty sure I know what happens. Because if you've ever seen a movie or heard nerds talk about a movie, everybody who's going like, redacted, why did J.J. Abrams make the decision to do blank with blank? I mean, I know what you're fucking saying. I'm not a moron. So, anyway, yeah, part of my problem with Star Wars, and this is going to sound really fucking pretentious, but part of my heel turn is being a hipster. The whole like Disney buying it, and I would like to walk into a fucking Target without having a fucking light up Boba Fett shot up my asshole. So that would be nice. Anyway, I think, they probably should have spoiled it because at this point, I think they're in a perfect place where 99% of the world that cares has seen it. I mean, the fucking thing made $7 million or whatever. People fucking saw it, and it would have been heat. And I think you're right. Yeah, there would have been some. I mean, I don't think it would have been it wouldn't have been like the fucking lead story on CNN, but you'd have gotten some crossover buzz if people were like, "Oh, this fucking guy." Yeah. So I think they should have.
They did massive box office, broke all the records.
Yep.
Everyone's seen the damn movie, and the people who haven't, it's been like 4 days.
Yeah. It's like the people who were mad at us for posting Takeover London spoilers.
I don't even want to talk about those assholes. I don't even want to talk about it. Because that's a live show. That's not a spoiler. That shit is airing live. Like, the world doesn't revolve around your schedule. And I only thankfully had like 4 people who were like super heavy into, going in on us.
Yeah.
And most people were like, "Well, you fuck off, guy. Jesus, it's live." Like, they were on our side.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to sometimes have people like with your back. In this instance, no one would have been on their side. Even because it's a movie, you have to pay. So there is this weird, like, at what point is it okay to talk about it? And everyone's kind of struggling with that to where they're like, most people I haven't seen myself any actual spoilers. I've just seen people kind of tiptoeing around, and unlike you, I'm not like heavy into it, so I can't decipher these messages. I don't know what happens. The Chewbacca dying thing, I have no fucking clue what occurs. And I believe Big E said something about Han Solo. I don't know what he was. I don't know if that's true either. It could be. It could not be.
I think it is.
But yeah, it's that weird point where it's been a few days and a shitload of people have already seen it, but a shitload of people still haven't. And at what point can you talk about it? At what point is it safe to say something? And I think it's right at that point where it's like, if they wanted to, they could lean on if there's a huge backlash. It's been days. Mm-hmm. It's not our fault that you're either too dumb or poor or whatever to go see it, right? Or something like that,
Right. Something heelish. Say something like that.
Get the fucking heat. That's
if you really cared about Star Wars, you would have seen it by now, so fuck you. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's a good heel line. I mean,
exactly.
I think they could have done it.
Fucking heat, man. I just want heels to get
And they're not partners with Disney, so who cares if they piss them off? Right.
Yeah. Fuck you guys, dude. Like, go. And the other thing too is I've read studies. Spoilers don't really affect your enjoyment of things.
No.
I'm sorry. It's just not the case.
I think it changes the way you. I mean, because for example, with me with London, I knew the results. I didn't even try to avoid the results, but I didn't get to watch it until even after the replay at night. So I knew what was going to happen. So it's a different sort of process, but I don't think. Yeah, it didn't ruin it.
You're not gonna not enjoy something just because you know what it
right.
Covers. Like I know, when my lady friend comes over and hangs out, I know we're gonna have sex. I don't suddenly not enjoy the sex just because I know it's gonna happen. It's, you know what I mean? Like, guys, it's still entertaining. Like, it's what occurs is not dependent on you not being aware of it beforehand.
That's a weird example.
It's a weird example, but let's run with it. I've still got tongue dart and fart box in my mind.
Do you get excited if your lady friend comes over and you know you're going to tongue dart or fart box?
Let's stop. Because this could go way down a rabbit hole. And why are you not jealous? # relationship goals.
Because we have, because that's one thing. We open communication again. We understand that you're going to tongue dart some other fart boxes, and I'm okay with that because we've agreed on it ahead of time.
And you're married,
right? But she's not into fart box stuff. So
I think it would be great if
I mostly just do that with you.
I think it would be.
Oh,
I think it would be great. No, I think it would be great if a gimmick popped up that people started to doubt if your wife actually exists. Because we've never seen her, we've never heard her voice.
That's right.
I've always tried to get you to let us talk to her, or even just me, like audience. He won't even let. I've never spoken to this woman. He, even when we're not on the air in our 2-minute pre-show or our 38-second post-show.
They well, here's the thing.
I've never spoken to this woman, and I've never seen her in any way.
She's not interested in talking to you. And that sounds right. She's always like, well, what does he want to talk to me about? And I'm like, I don't know, and it sort of scares me. So let's just not do it.
As a shoot, it's literally just like you're my guy, of course, and she's your wife. So
I know. It'll probably happen at some point. It's just
I'm his boss, and just hi. And
the sad thing is I'm pretty sure. I know that there are people, creepy internet bastards. I love you all, but some of you are creepy. Who have found my LinkedIn page and my Facebook page. So I think there are people who have seen her. So.
Oh man, come on. Don't do that shit, guys.
I mean, nobody's done anything inappropriate with it. I just know that I don't, this is my real name. I don't hide my stuff. So, I mean, it's out there. That's
actually your house, right? That you're at?
This is my basement that we're in. Yep.
I'm mostly working at gimmicks, so everyone don't do this. I have never seen her, but we all know, Sean knows it's a gimmick, and I hope you've told her that I'm just working a gimmick, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I mean, I think you would you would talk to her just like a coworker. Exactly. It's not strange that you want to talk to her. If we had a Christmas party, you'd have met her by now, but we don't because we just live inside and never go outside. And, I only put on a t-shirt to do this show. I never have pants on. We
fear everything that's out the front door, so we just don't go there. So, but no, that's not. Anyway, wrestling. Back to wrestling. I think they should have spoiled Star Wars. And if Eva comes back, have her do it. Nuclear fucking heat. And then everyone can tell me it's the wrong kind of heat, and I'll just laugh at their tears. What else happened on this show?
Kevin Owens happened all over this fucking show. I mean,
Kevin Owens, good job. You bunch of assholes. Broke out the breaking news banner for this one. And it got over again. And it got over in part because you guys weren't begging for it. You guys weren't telling me to do it. So just a note for the future. Don't ever tell me to use the breaking news banner because it fucks it up. It's so much better when you just get on the site and the breaking news, Kevin Owens cancels Christmas, return all your gifts. That's a great thing to get on the site.
Except for the KO merchandise.
Yeah. But you'd have to click the link to see that part. Someone actually tweeted me, and they're like, hope you like my new header. And I looked, and it's breaking news, Kevin Owens cancels Christmas. It's from the site. That's great. That's how much it got over. But, yeah, good job, idiots. Way to not vote for him.
But, again, like you said, he's a heel, so... And Neville is a super babyface who does flippy shit. Babyfaces who do flippy shit win Slammys.
If you're a babyface who does flippy shit, you're... Even the heels who do flippy shit, Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm. True.
We're on to something here. Flippy shit.
Flippy shit equals money.
That's right.
Or at least it equals Slammy votes, whatever that means.
I thought Owens Ziggler was a good match. I thought their hockey fight was much better up on the stage.
Mm-hmm. And there, are you surprised? Did you see they're going to do the triple threat for the title tonight?
I did. I think it's a smart move. You get people to watch the show. You need to, people were mad that they advertised Cena for next week. And why not? Why ruin the surprise? Again, you don't need to be surprised for things to be good. And, we're always bitching about them for not advertising shit beforehand. A whole week. They're giving us a whole week to get ready for this. And they need ratings.
Mm-hmm. And that's another show that's going to be in a holiday dead zone that, this gives people a reason to tune in.
Yeah. Isn't it New Year's Eve?
No.
No?
No, it's just like the 29th or something, but.
It is the 20th.
People are going to be 26. I don't know. Yeah, it's New Year's Day. New Year's Day is Friday. So are they doing SmackDown on Thursday next week? Because that would be New Year's Eve.
It's a whole week. Oh man, no, yeah, SmackDown. Yeah, SmackDown will be on Thursday, and then that's the week before the move to USA.
Right.
So yeah, that'd be New Year's Eve. New Year's is not a holiday. New Year's Eve, that's so stupid.
It used to be when you could sit at home and watch fucking college football with a hangover all day on Saturday, but goddamn big business ruined that. So, sorry, you probably don't even remember when all the bowl games were on New Year's Day.
I don't care about college football.
Sometimes it's good. I don't care about it nearly as much as I do pro football. But
yeah, I'm an NFL fan, and the Bears suck, so I just try not to. I'm a Steeler supporter.
There you go, baby.
I really am, though. For you and my friend who came by last night's a huge Steelers fan, so I'm just riding.
And they're fucking fun to watch. So that
really
they don't stop. Well, they did stop people on defense for a little bit, but not for the first half. Anyway, we don't want to. We're supposed to talk about wrestling.
Keep going off it because there's this show.
It was just not. It wasn't horrible. It was back to being boring.
I liked what Becky and Charlotte did. They continued that kind of. It was a slow burn this time. She didn't cheat to help her win, and Becky got a good match out of Brie Bella.
I know that's.
Can we start giving Becky some fucking props? And then she, unlike Nikki, Charlotte tried to raise her hand, and she was selling the hand. Tried to raise her arm or whatever for the celebration after, and she's like, "Fuck, are you serious? I actually keep kayfabe, motherfucker."
And Charlotte just doesn't make. She doesn't.
She's trying to steal her glory.
Well, and plus she was encouraging the "Hey, we want some," or "We want some Bailey" chants, which doesn't make sense on any.
Who was doing it?
Some asshole frat guys.
The guy who was doing it was a fat dude who looked like he was drinking a beer, wearing a Minnesota Vikings jersey, about 29 years old.
Did he have hair on his neck?
Looked like it. Big fucking surprise, people.
Yeah.
You want to talk about who does those chants? Anyway, yeah, that was weird that she was kind of, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's the whole thing, like what they like it, and that's the 4 horsewoman thing. I guess that's the only justification, but it doesn't make it.
She shouldn't be doing that for what her character is right now.
Yeah, and I don't think you would. Why would you encourage anybody to chant, regardless of character? Why would you encourage somebody to do what's basically like a boring chant, like a CM Punk chant or anything else? They're cheering for somebody who's not there.
It's funny because I'm actually in the school of they can break kayfabe in certain moments because we're all, I feel like we're to a point where wrestling should be at a point where we understand, if you break kayfabe on Twitter, some people get mad about that. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, that's social media. You should try to always be in character on the shows, but even on the shows, sometimes I think you can break it because, again, just make it clear. We all understand they're working a work. We don't need to. It's not like there's no pressure for them to just act like it's legit. Like you don't need to do that anymore. So that gives them some freedom. But this is one of those instances where I don't really understand what good it serves to encourage A, that chant, and B, someone who's not even ever been on the main roster in any capacity. She's never had even a single match. I don't even know that she's ever worked a dark match.
I think she has, because I think, I don't know. I know she's done house shows, so I would assume maybe at some point she did a dark match, but I don't know for sure.
Either way, it just doesn't. And the Charlotte character right now, what she's doing, this just doesn't make sense in any way. And even in non-kayfabe, it still doesn't make sense to encourage that change. I guess because they have a connection because of the 4 horsewomen. But
yeah, I mean that's the only thing I can justify. But even that is tenuous because
just doesn't make sense. But I liked how they continued that story. Slow, but good enough. Mm-hmm. Becky got a good match out of Brie Bella. That was fine. And then Charlotte being Charlotte and Becky rolling.
Drunk uncle showed up on stage later on, and
they didn't have any acknowledgement of the two.
Yep.
So the Slammies are like a totally separate thing when. In that case,
it's just like everything else. I know you got into this argument on Twitter, and Tanya and I were talking about it in a thread yesterday. It wasn't an argument, but it's like, WWE leaves these lines blurry so that they can do whatever they want. It's like the Slammy criteria for voting. They could spell it out if they want to. They don't want to, because it keeps people talking and it leaves them open to. They like to sometimes pretend that NXT matters on WWE and vice versa, and other times they like to pretend that it doesn't. So as long as they leave it undefined, they can do that. So that's the same thing here. The same. That's how they. I mean, that's reality era kayfabe. We're going to keep kayfabe when we want to, and we're not when we don't want to. That's the rule.
Yep.
So, what else?
The Kane came back.
That was great.
The
Wyatts, they were hyping up the Wyatts' new feud, and it's their old feud plus Kane. Am I right on this? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong.
The Fire even is rebelling against this man. He did his gimmick, and it just didn't work. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say this. The one thing I like is the Wyatt family just keep beating the shit out of these old-ass Extreme dudes. And they keep bringing back even older dudes and getting beat again, and even faster times. Like
they actually got rid of the youngest guy, wouldn't I? I mean, I assume Rhino was probably the youngest guy out of that team. They cut him. They're going older.
Strongest.
They need experience, not skill.
These idiots brought in Tommy Dreamer, which you can at least justify, because again, he might be packing a pistol.
He is the innovator of violence.
Yeah, at any point he could pull a gun out. And then they go get Rhino, a dude who was in developmental, whatever. He's old and weird. Mm-hmm.
Snorts all of the cocaine. Allegedly.
All of the cocaine. Don't come up until you're numb. And then they get rid of him, apparently to do some cocaine somewhere else.
He's got a lot of. They ran out here. He's got to go somewhere else to get more.
Right. And they brought in Game. What's the idea? I don't even.
I was trying to figure this out in the Raw preview. I don't know. They were acting like the Wyatts were going to move on to something bigger and better, but there's nothing to move on to. It's really they can go back to Reigns and Ambrose, but they're not going to win that feud.
Well, they've got no other baby
faces. There's no other baby faces for them to feud with.
They've got a 4-man stable, but it's a heel group opposing the champion and his buddies, Dean and.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, I think you could probably even sell a heel versus heel League of Nations versus. I mean, because League of Nations is a temporary deal, right? I mean, they exist to be.
You know what's weird?
To have guys go over them. So
the word has always been that Vince hates factions.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 different factions right now. New Day.
Mm-hmm.
4 if you count Reigns in them.
Yeah, the family.
Oh man, I'm an idiot. I have a pocket knife that my dad got me for Christmas, and I was just messing with it. I just cut my fucking finger.
Bad?
I'm bleeding. I'll be all right. No, yeah, so New Day, if you count the family, you got Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos, League of Nations, and then the Wyatt family. And I guess even ECW Originals are kind of a faction at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's strange, but there's nothing. It's so weird because you have all these guys, and it doesn't seem like there's anything for them to do. Because I can't believe the Dudleys are still going. They don't have a lot of value to me, but whatever value they do have, they're really sucking it out of them by just having them do as many jobs as possible. Which goes against my I hope Bray Wyatt jobs to everyone in the world thing, but at least they're trying to build them back up. Again, I want to give WWE credit for a lot of things they did here. The show wasn't very good, and that's a function of the Slammy Awards. But they tried to build the League of Nations back up throughout the show. They gave the Wyatt family a win, and they tried to build. They're continuing to try to build them back up. The Becky Charlotte thing is still good to me. I think they're doing a good job telling that story. And I thought the Roman Reigns stuff was really good with Stephanie and the way he coming out to help Dean in the main event, but he didn't take it over. He pulled some fucking, like you called it, ninja shit by throwing a chair in the ring, and it opened
awesome.
As it landed. Mm-hmm. That's what I said on Twitter. Everything's coming up Reigns when you can throw a chair in the ring awkwardly and it fucking lands and opens perfectly. So, there was a lot of good on this show. The Ziggler Owens match was decent and whatever, but it just was boring. Despite doing those things correctly, it was a tough, kind of boring show and disjointed. Like, if it was, it'd be one of those inoffensive episodes of NXT where we would just not say anything. It's like, okay, they're doing the things they need to do. They're getting the
where I'd give it a C+ or a B-. People would yell at me.
Yeah, I think I gave it a C-, actually, the show. Because they did the right things. I mean, they, again, the booking was solid. They did what they need to do to get to where they need to go, but you can't have you're not going to hit a home run every at bat. You can't come with A+ every week.
Right.
3-hour show.
Like I said, I mean, I think that one thing is they're hamstrung by the Slammys gimmick. I mean, it's hard to get, like you said, disjointed is the perfect word because of that. And they fell back on some of their old habits. Again, they didn't really, there wasn't a lot of 50-50 booking. I'll give them that. I mean, the same people won the same matches, but there weren't a lot of stakes. I mean, why don't you put the IC title on the line for the main event? Why not? I mean, if you're going to have Ambrose win anyway, at least that would have made it seem like he was actually being punished or something. I mean, that people could have gotten more interested in it. Because I wouldn't have been able to get rid of the idea that maybe they'd put that belt on Sheamus. I mean, I don't think they would have, but why not?
That's a good point.
I mean, they just, all these, I mean, the Usos didn't have it. I mean, they should have had something like the Usos go to the back of the tag team championship line if they don't beat the New Day. Because if you're going to win anyway, and you already know who the next feud is, it's Lucha Dragons.
That's true.
There was nothing on the line in any of these matches. So. Yeah,
it was just Stephanie, being pissy and trying.
I mean, even though Owens Ziggler, there was nothing. I mean, that could have been a #1 contenders match, but I mean, I guess they wouldn't want to do that. But I don't know. No Stakes was back in full force after a week when everything mattered.
That's true. So yeah, you give them the benefit of the doubt in one way, and then you look at it the other way and you go, yeah, but you could have done more. You're leaving some money on the table.
You're leaving some story on the table. We're gonna have to mark it down.
I believe that was literally everything.
It was not. What else?
Well, we didn't get to a lot of the awards. Do we care about Slam?
Not really. I mean, the ones that like I think it's, I guess Stephen Amell's coming back, I guess, because they're playing that up with his celebrity award.
I just don't care about this guy at all. I just don't. I don't see the appeal.
Yeah, I don't.
I guess, but
well, Stardust isn't doing anything else, so I mean they've totally dropped that. I mean, is the Titus Stardust story gone? I guess it's been like 3 weeks.
Probably, and it should be because no one cares.
Yeah. What else? Miz is great still.
What'd he doing?
He presented the award and he did the Rock impersonation to sell Santa's Little Helper. And
that was dumb.
Fuck you.
That was the other problem with the Slammys too. That way you can't, maybe that's why they don't want to make it a network special, is because they know that they could never get people who are going to win awards to actually show up to the fucking things.
Yeah.
There were so many people who won awards, and the one dude who could show up, who was actually a big deal, came out on crunches looking just sad as shit. So it's like, kind of, I don't know. I think Match of the Year proved that the big stars are still given the most weight, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Your match.
I mean, Taker Lesnar won everything they were up for, didn't they?
No, there was something that the extreme moment of the year.
Oh, the one thing they should have won.
Yeah, for the pull apart brawl, which I don't mind the Salida del Sol off the ladder. That's fine, but that pull apart brawl was one of the best pull apart brawls ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Suplex City for best hashtag, which is dumb as shit.
Well, that's a dumb award.
Even Joey Styles was on Twitter today going, hey, let's just, there's like 6 of them that you do, Superstar, Diva, Match, Breakout Star. That's about it. Tag team.
Yeah.
You're good at that point. You don't need LOL moment of the year. This is awesome moment of the year. Extreme, oh my God, moment of the year.
Tell me he did not just say that moment of the year.
Like, are you serious? Fucking shut up already.
See, I mean, they change him every year because Cena's best Cena U.S. Open Challenge is not going to be an award next year, right? I mean,
well, they did Animal of the Year last year, dude. Like,
why didn't they do that this year so we could have had Rusev's fish win? Damn it!
Is that a real sentence that you just said? Did you actually just say those words?
You think Dolph Ziggler should have won?
So earnest. Why did you actually? Maybe Doug Ziggler, yeah. Cold fish Lana. This is what we've been reduced to.
Take it, it's a fish.
This is what we've been reduced to. Calling Star Wars nerds dorks.
Yep.
And here we are. They should have done Animal of the Year, so Cold Fish could have won. I can't believe it.
Slammys are serious business.
What are we doing? Oh yeah. All right.
Are we really done? Did we really ran out of shit to talk about in an hour? Even though we spent 15 minutes talking about gay sex and another 5 minutes talking about internet stalking.
Well, they did like 8 minutes for like Rusev Neville, but that was just we gloss over it because it's you're just trying to get the League of Nations over. So like, there's little stuff within there that we could probably talk about, but who cares?
Yeah, I really don't care.
Was there any other award that mattered to you that they did the Steve Harvey spot? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did. I mean, I think that was a missed opportunity. You liked it. Yeah, we talked about it.
You liked it. I didn't like it so much as I just thought it was you do it. I agree with the decision.
I mean, I agree you do. I was making jokes with people on Twitter 12 hours earlier about, and somebody, I forget who, I think Trey Bees, even called that it would be Truth doing Divas. So
Why Truth?
Because he's African American.
Is that
I don't know. I think it's because he's somebody that they would make fun of for a minute. I mean, Truth has this gimmick going, but isn't he the guy who like thanked the wrong city, like back 5 years ago or something?
That's true. I think you could probably look at it and think racism.
I don't think so. I think it's his character. He fits that gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah, his character's been a fuck up for a while now. Yeah, Cesaro won for Best US Open Challenge.
And he couldn't even bother to show up.
Rivalry of the Year went to Taker and
Lesnar. Yep.
Yep. Cool. So next week,
yeah.
Guess where they're going next week, Sean?
Brooklyn.
Raw's going to Brooklyn.
Not as good as Brooklyn. The Minneapolis was not as good as Brooklyn. So, by
the way, ladies and gentlemen, Cageside Andrew Swift, I believe is his name. If that's wrong, I don't really care. Is working. I love your laugh so much, dude. He's currently working on a top 10 Cageside live moments or maybe episodes for the end of the year. So look for that coming soon, and I think he'll have links to the exact points in the videos.
He's good for that. He's if you don't remember his Sasha Bailey.
Yeah, he's given us the treatment.
He does links to GIFs and the whole bit.
He's made Sasha mark out multiple times with his when he goes in depth, man. He really gets after it. I think he said on Twitter, he's like, every night at like 3 a.m. I'll be getting ready to go to sleep, and I'll scroll Twitter and I'll see him talking about, this episode of CSL was really good because he's like, I'm 2,000 words deep, aka I'm a fucking mark. So I tell him, I'm like, you know what though? I fucking love you for it, man, because I'm looking forward to this so much. Because we've had a lot of fun on this show for the past few months, I think. Starting, I think, in like August or so, we just decided, I think, to have more fun instead of be pissed all the time. Unless, British people are chanting things.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't even pissed about that. I was pissed that people said I was pissed about it, but I don't want to talk about that anymore. Yep. Jim Ross has my back, though. That's all.
That's right. And then, so we've been working bad internet connection gimmicks and fucking. We found a lot of gimmicks this year, Sean. But we shouldn't be going to year in review yet because we have one more show. That's next week. Next
Tuesday.
The year in review show. If you're going to be around, what are you doing?
I don't know. Checking my shit here. I don't know.
Checking your shit. All right. So.
I'll be around. It might be early again. Getting a little different hours while school's on break, but I'll be
wake up so early.
I know. Take a nap.
Wow. That's what I'm going to do. You have to work after we get off here then because I'm going back to sleep.
Well, make Handstock do something.
Kick ass, sleep till noon.
Screw you all. Good night. Shut up.